cool. All right. So I want to go back to this moment, right? So we kind of know, so we've been rehearsing, we've been bringing all these different partnership things into our life. And then we take it on the road, so to speak, right? As Alyssa says, we say, okay, we're ready to rehearse outside of our, safety, safe place at home, in our yard, garden, whatever. And we want to take it on the road, so to speak, right? And what do? We're humans, so we pretty much do similar things. We start thinking about all the things we're supposed to do. Okay, I got to breathe. I got to stand tall. I got to use my P's. I got to remember to pulse the leash. Got to remember to stay present. I got to remember, right? That it's just so natural and normal that we do that. And so what does that tell us? If we're thinking about all those things instead of just being in the moment and doing that, what is that telling us? Like, what do you think the message is? Like, if we were to do a debrief on this, and we find that we're struggling with executing what we've been rehearsing in our life for real, and we're going to like take it on the road, so to speak, but we hit roadblocks. Our dog gets distracted. We get distracted. Our dog starts pulling. We start pulling. Our dog wants to go somewhere. We can't go. Like, all these things start to happen. What do you think? Why do you think we have that? Rather than knowing subconsciously and just stepping into it, just like Alyssa says, stepping onto the stage and doing what you've been practicing, doing what you've been rehearsing, knowing your character, knowing your lines so intimately, and having the dynamic with your other actors and where you need to be on the stage and all the things, instead of just executing and performing that, you start thinking about all the things, and what's going to happen with your quote unquote performance, right? Why does that? So my question to you is, why do you think that happens? In those moments that we've been rehearsing for, right? Curtain goes up. There we are with our dog on leash, walking somewhere, and we start to get in our head. Why do you think that happens? Haven't rehearsed enough. Don't have the muscle memory developed. Yes. We have fear of failure getting in the way. Yes. It's not natural enough to us yet if we have to think about it. Yes. Sometimes I think it's rather stay home with my dog than go out and fail. Too much thinking. Yeah. Fear of what ifs. Yes. Lizard brain. Yes. We don't trust ourselves or our dog. Yes. We're disconnected from ourselves. Ooh, that's a good one. Yes. Don't feel confident. Not confident enough. We're not present. We're overthinking. Worry about what could go wrong. Letting the past be in our present. Ooh, that's a good one, Anne. Yes. We've lost our connection, our heart connection. Yes. We're not ready yet. I think it's the practice make perfect phrase working against us. We have to execute perfectly instead of being in the moment. Yes. Oh, the past. It is a big one. Overthinking, not being able to let go of our story. Yes. Yes. So all these things, these are all valid reasons why we lose this, right? Why we have this difficulty with our dogs. And yet, let's think about this. Think about this. What could be more natural than something like taking your partner by the hand and walking together in the same direction? Like, we do it all the time, right? We do it with each other, We do it with our children. I mean, who hasn't, taken a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old by the hand and walked with them and understood what we need to do to stay with that person, that friend, that child, even if they see something they want. They see somewhere else they want to go. Oh, that looks like fun. Let's go here, right? And somehow we know what to do, right? We know what to do. It's in our genes. It's in our bones. It's in our cells. We know what to do. Don't you think? Right? We do it all the time. We don't think about it, right? We don't need to practice taking a loved one by the hand and walking to a place together, right? And so when we think about it from that perspective, we go, huh, that's what I do. I go, huh, like, huh, why can't I do that with my dog, right? Why, like, what is keeping me from having that same experience with my dog? If I can have that experience with you, right? I could, if we were together and we had masks on and it was socially safe and we could take each other by the hand and walk together, wouldn't we just do it? Like, wouldn't we just do it? And yeah, we would, right? So what do you think? Like, right? So are you with me? Do you believe that there's some inherent, natural, organic, and authentic mechanism amongst us as a social species that allows us to connect with another and walk together in harmony? That there's something inherently natural about that. Oh, Kathy just had an insight. So when my dog sniffs, I should think about it as if I were walking with a toddler. Wow. What if it was that easy? What if it was so easy that we were able to have such a powerful shift in our mindset that it were that easy to walk with our dogs, right? So using Kathy Ross' example, so if we're walking with our toddler, let's say we have a 3 or 4-year-old that they're big enough to pull us, like to have a strong opinion and to pull, and maybe to pull away, right? Not like a 1-year-old, but let's say a 3, 4-year-old. And we're walking and they're excited. We're walking to the ice cream shop. We're going to go get ice cream cones. And their excitement is building up. And as we get closer, they're like, come on. And they're trying to pull us, right? What do we do? What do we do? Just throw it out there. No right or wrong answer. What would you put yourself in that situation? You're walking a young child and they're excited somewhere you want to go, somewhere they really want to go, and they want to go, right? You can't let go of their hand because you're on there's a street right there. There's cars, there's people and bikes, and there's a safety issue, right? So you can't just let go of their hand. What do? Let's sort that out. Let's talk about this, right? We ask them to slow down. We hurry with them. We get excited too and go with it. We run or skip with them. We distract them with other things along the way. I stop and say something like, easy does it. We talk to them and calm them. We support them. We keep them safe. If it was safe, I would laugh and run with them, but still hold on. Yeah. Okay. So we have that picture. We can get there. Okay. Now, what if it wasn't safe? What if It wasn't safe to skip and run with them. What if the sidewalk was icy, right? And you didn't want to fall, or you don't want them to fall, right? So what if it was icy? It was, who would go for ice cream in the winter? I don't know, but let's just go with it, right? So there's something on the sidewalk. It was slippery, it was wet, and the footing wasn't good for whatever reason. And so you couldn't skip and run ahead. What would you do then? All right, let's just sort it out. Let's figure it out. What would we do? Right, so Beth says, yeah, hold up, honey. I need you to stay close. Yeah, what else? What would we do? So, we can't let them go. It's not safe enough to run and skip and join in their excitement right now, right? And so we want to influence that child in a way that keeps it light and fun and connected. We want to stay connected, right? Right? We could do a dog training thing. We could just stop and say, hey, if you're going to be happy and filled with joy about going here faster than I can walk, well, then we're not going to go and just stop. Or we're going to stop here until you learn how to slow down and walk with me, right? Or if you keep doing that again, we're going to have to turn around and go back the other way. How does that feel? Feels weird, doesn't it? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. What do you think? Does it feel okay? Is that I don't see anyone saying like that I would tell that child with my demeanor and with my actions that there are consequences to your eagerness, and you have to learn how to curtail your eagerness. And in order for that to happen, I'm going to demonstrate the consequences by stopping or turning and going back the other way. So how, it's a possibility, and maybe we would do that. Maybe we wouldn't. Maybe we couldn't think of another choice. You know what I mean? But I just want you to feel how that feels. Right? I just want you to feel it. Okay. Right. So talk to them, explain why we can't run, connect and show them how to slow down, model the behavior. Beth says it feels awful. Talk to them and ask them to slow down. Be careful in a nice way. It feels like the child's wants don't matter. Liz says, I find this not just with walking, but in life. I view what my dogs are immersed in through the eyes of a toddler. We would keep them by our side, connect, and move forward purposefully. Yes. Okay. So you see the contrast, and there's no right or wrong. I want to dive deeper into a partnership lifestyle with you and walking in partnership, right? So we're just exploring and experimenting with the differences. How does one thing feel? How does another thing feel? What are some other possibilities? How can we shift our perspective, shift our thinking? How can we step into our dog's paws? Is there a way to help our dog step into our feet, into our shoes? You know what I mean? Just like some of you said, like we would tell this child why we can't skip ahead, like why it's not safe, right? And so we're bringing them into our shoes, you know what I mean? And staying in connection, right? Okay, now look at this conversation that we're having now and these different ideas. What I want you to think about, what is the thing? What is the thing that is happening, no matter which scenario we go with, right? Whether we're on safe footing or not, whether we're skipping ahead or not, what's the one thing that those possibilities all have in common? And in the moment, yes, absolutely. Why is it? What is the thing that is enabling us to stay in the moment with that child? What's the thing? What do you think is the thing. There's no right or wrong answer, okay? So we're throwing it out there. What's the thing? What is it? Is this interesting? Like, think about it. Like, what is it that is enabling us to do this, right? To stay connected with this child and communicate in a way that doesn't devolve into a a temper tantrum or a shouting match or a crying or yelling. Like, what is it that helps us to stay connected in that moment and not have that collaboration with that child devolve? What is it? What are the pieces? What are the possibilities there? We're connected, having a why, love, clarity and patience, partners stay together, heart connection, instinct, love, attending to their needs, respect for your dog and yourself, common purpose, ice cream, yes, connection, a shared purpose, we both want to get there, dialogue, concern, help them first and foremost, confidence, love, connection, our partnership, patience from love, love and being loving, having empathy, concern, we're responsible. There's a dialogue. We understand what they're communicating, and so we're clear on what we can communicate back. Wanting a good experience, the relationship, feeling responsible. Yes, all yet, like all yes, 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 100 times yes, right? Okay. So, can we agree on the idea that it's possible to have such an experience with someone like a child that we love, that we have a desire to, that we're motivated to find these connections and common, all the things, right? To the responsibility to create that type of experience. So can we agree that when we have that as our primary motivation, that it's possible, human to human, adult to child, right? And we can easily transfer that to two adults, or, you know what I mean, like two friends, two lovers, whatever, right? So can we create this common ground with before we move into our dogs, right? Can we say that, yes, this is possible, and I feel it, I can imagine what that could be like. Let's look at this. What do you think? What are some of the things? Again, there's no right or wrong. What are some of the things that keep us from having that experience with our dogs? Okay, so I want you to imagine this in a very concrete way. Like, you're taking your dog out of the car, walking down the sidewalk to the dog treat shop, and your dog knows where you're going, right? What's the thing that's going to keep you and your dog from having that same experience that you can imagine having with a child? What's the thing? Shout them out. What's the thing that's going to prevent you from having that experience with your dog? Okay, Jules, common language is not the same. Stress, impatience, perfectionism, not connected. I have a goal and I don't listen like I would a child. Old habits of training, dogs must obey, as well as not understand that their behavior is communicating. Closed mind, not feeling free to enjoy them. Peer pressure, expecting him to know better, but not expecting the child to know better. This is hard to admit, but I would never treat a child like I've treated my dog. You're not alone. Trust me. I'm right up there with you. Definitely old habits, emotional triggers, lack of understanding, fear, Too much focus on the end goal, lack of understanding, not being present, unclear intentions, confidence, not trusting that they can communicate with us. Her fears, but still going where I want. His nose takes over and I miss the communication. Yeah. Okay. And there's more, right? Yeah. Fear of embarrassment. There's more, right? This list, this could be an ongoing list of things that prevent us from having that same experience, right? I mean, I think we could all agree we want that. That's the experience we want to have with our dog. Okay, what's the commonality? Let's do that thing again. So we look at all these, expecting the worst, being hyper alert, not taking the time to dialogue, allowing the pull, but not knowing what to do. Like all these things and more. Let's find a couple of threads of commonality. What's common amongst those things, right? Let's see if we can pull them out, right? Because those are going to be our keys, right? Those threads of common, like why do we do that? What's the thing? And let's see if we can get down to the core. Like, you know me, I'm all about making it easy, looking for the 20% that's going to get us the 80% of the result, right? Looking for the core few simple pieces that we need to have a transformation. Okay. So let's see if we can find some common threads here. Maybe one common thread. Let's see. Not being present, lack of clarity, mindset, disconnected, not communicating, lack of confidence, not trusting, mindset. Yeah, keep going. I feel like there's like we can go deeper. I don't know. I feel like there's another layer underneath that. Those are all true, right? We went through this earlier, right? We don't have the confidence. We are disconnected. We're not present. We don't have the trust. What's underneath that? This feels like there's like a core piece that's underneath it. Now think about it between your experience with the child and your experience with the dog, because all these things could apply to the child easily, and they probably have for many of us, right? We're impatient, we're frustrated, we have somewhere to be, somewhere to go, and we're abrupt with our child. We're, yelling at them or pulling them or urging them on or trying to make them do what we want and without regard for how they feel. Surely we have done that sometimes with a child, or, maybe caught ourselves before we did. But we know that that's not the experience we want to have, right? And so what brings us back? What's the thing that allows us to have that experience with the child that is standing in the way? There's something standing in the way. The thing that brings us back to having an experience with that child is standing in the way of us having that experience with our dog. Can we figure that out? Can we identify that? Acceptance, trying to fix. Now we're getting somewhere, right? We're going a little deeper here, right? This is good. Acceptance, wanting to fix them. Empathy, not being respectful. Lack of acceptance, love and acceptance of who they are. Language, accepting the behavior. So acceptance, not being in our dog's paws, trying to fix. I think that, it's been about me instead of what my dog needs. So let's run with this acceptance thing, because I think it feels very much tied to this idea of fixing our dog, right? If we're not accepting them, who they are and what they're experiencing, then that is quickly followed, or it's already there, that urge to fix it, right? Does that make sense? And so if where does that come from? So we could say, you gals have already said things like, peer pressure, history. Like we have history, we have baggage, right? We have expectations, we have an old story. Those old stories, oh, they're tough. Those are tough. I mean, I think that's really key, having those old stories, not even knowing that we're stuck in those, not even realizing that the mechanism that's keeping us from having that experience with our dogs is being stuck in the old story, not even knowing that that's what's happening, right? Trying to control this, not understanding, not respecting. We might acknowledge a child's feelings more. We don't understand our dogs. We think that we don't understand, right? But is that true, right? Is any of that even true? Like the language thing, like it's a different species. I mean, let's dive into that piece. Is that true? Is it true that there's a different language, that somehow, because we're a different species, that we don't know how to connect, that it's different, that somehow the language is a barrier? Is that really true? Is that a truth? Is that a fact? Right? Is there any piece of that that's true?